Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 185 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. Tattoos. Do you have any? The B-Man? I do not. I know myself. I look in the mirror, I see what I'm about. I have pale skin. I have hair all over on my back that I need to get waxed. I have hair on my butt cheeks and in between my butt cheeks. And I know that Venn diagram of a pale skin, hair, tattoo is not appealing to anybody. And also, in addition to that, do I have a fear of commitment? No. No, I do not. But I do avoid commitment. And I do believe there is a bifurcation between the two, fear and avoidment. But that's not what this is about. It's not what I'm trying to get at. I've noticed the last few months, there are a few ladies in my life. They're not really in my life, but they're in the periphery of my life. What I mean by that is they do stand-up comedy. Now, am I friends with these ladies? These babes, and I say that word affectionately, I would call them friends, all three of them, but I'm just friendly with them. I only talk to these babes when we're doing stand-up or we're at a venue together doing stand-up. I've never drank with them outside of stand-up, or I don't, text and call. It's just, we only communicate when we're at a venue doing stand-up comedy. I do enjoy the communication I have with these ladies, and hopefully they enjoy the conversations they have with me, although, that's to be debatable. But I have noticed, and all these ladies, or maybe it's four of them actually, now that I think about it, they're all stages of life, like late 20s, early 30s, single, maybe they're in relationships, but it's not looking like it's going to lead to a white picket fence and married 5 years and then deciding to open it up polygamy. Let's just say this, right? I see these ladies, these babes, I'll see them on like a Tuesday and Wednesday night at a dive bar doing stand-up comedy. And when you're a lady in a venue like that in your late 20s, early 30s, life's kicking you in the vagina, right? My life is kicking me in the balls, but I accept that. But I don't know if they do, these ladies. And maybe this is obvious for everybody else. And I've read about this online, on the internet, the red pill, the black pill. That's a red flag. Tattoos. You don't want a lady with tattoos. I'm not sure what the ladies think of the chads with the tattoos. I think they like that. But conversely, like the red pillars will tell you don't want a babe with tattoos. Now, I never subscribed to that, but I have noticed that these 3 or 4 ladies that are in my periphery, they're getting terrible tattoos, and it's so evident to me that their minds are in a chaotic spot. There's chaos in between their ears. There's no fault of their own. I'm not pointing at them saying, "Oh, you're fucking up your life." It's just, it is what it is. And I'm noticing this. Maybe tattoos are a red flag. It's maybe not forever, but during the stage of your life where you're getting tattoos, for women or babes, that is a stage of life. If you're a guy, you probably want to avoid that specific lady. Because I see some of these tattoos, and they're all in a random spot. They'll be of like a cheeseburger, or of SpongeBob, or of a fan, or of like an air conditioner. It'll be like under the armpit, and like inner thigh. And not like I'm looking at them, but like hip, and it's not. Like, these aren't real tattoos. These are not pieces of art on their bodies. I won't say it's grotesque, but it's a stain. It's an ink stain on their body. Honestly, as somebody who loves art, they could just have a Bic pen in their pocket, and if the blue ink got out and on on their hip, like that probably look better than some of the tattoos that I'm seeing. And I'm just noticing it's not like I talk to them about their lives because I really don't have anything. I'd have no advice. Like if any of these babes came up to me like, "Hey, B-man, what? I'm having troubles with this guy," or I'm like, "Well, I've never. Last time I was in a real relationship was 20 years ago," or like I'm unemployed. It's like I've been unemployed. I was unemployed almost 2 years before I had the job I have now, and I just got lucky getting it. Like I don't know anyone in position of power that can hire you, so I can't get you a job. And like my stand-up's not going well. Neither is mine. Neither is mine. We have. Whoops. Hold on. Let me get that off. Okay. Sorry. This show is I have 56 subscribers, so it's not like there's nothing I can help. There's no advice I can give to these ladies. So even if they were talking to me, like I'd be useless for them. But I do eavesdrop and I do listen to them converse with other ladies when I'm like beside them. And it's become so evident to the B-man that whenever there's a female comic who tells me, like, "Oh yeah," or I'll notice a new tattoo, I go, "Oh, is that a new tattoo?" And if she says yes, that is a tell that her life is not where she wants it to be. And that's the most polite way I can state that. Now, if this was someone I didn't know or a story I was reading on Reddit, yeah, I'd go into them, but I know these ladies and I do enjoy their company and I think they're great human beings. But I am very aware that, they're getting tattoos that it has nothing to do with like relationships. Like, I really, like, it's almost like, like that's bad energy. And hey, I'll acknowledge it, but I don't want to spend a whole lot of time near it. Now, it does make for some great stand-up comedy on stage, so I do like listening to it. But again, being near it, no. And I know this is probably obvious. You're all like, "No shit, B-man. Old lady's getting a lot of random tattoos. Shit's going crazy in her at the moment in her life." But I do believe there is a different. You got to decipher between a babe with tattoos and a babe in a stage where she's getting those tattoos. And those could be two different stages of life. While she's getting the tattoos, come at me in 5 years. But if she has the tattoos, maybe it could be okay. Again, I'm learning. The B-man's learning. I'm observing, and I could be wrong. Maybe these comics in their lives are fantastic and going, and they're getting engaged and they just got a job that's paying them 6 figures. I don't know. I suspect that is not the case, though. Or maybe the B-man just has to find better people to hang out with. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? All right, moving forward. This comes from the subreddit family. You have one of those? I do. Not like my own. I'm the youngest. Yeah, I'm in a weird stage in my life when people ask me if I have a family. I say, yes, I do have a family, but it's not my family. I'm the youngest of 5. Like, I don't have any kids of myself. So I am part of a family, but I don't have a family. Get it? Some people don't. When they ask me, like, do you have a family? They don't get it because I don't do a good job explaining it to the person. When I say, yeah, I have a family, but I don't make that footnote of it. Yeah, but I'm not the father. I am the son and the Holy Spirit. All right, moving forward. Now, this comes from the subreddit. What the fuck am I talking about? This comes from the subreddit family. Older brother expects me to be a free babysitter because I'm single and have no real responsibilities. Been there. My brother, a 32 male, has 3 kids under 8 and constantly asks me to watch them because I'm single with no kids. It started as an occasional help, but now it's 2 to 3 times per week. That is excessive. Often last minute. Ooh, that's bad. When I say I have plans, he responds with, "Must be nice to have such a flexible schedule." He's never offered to pay me, and gets offended when I suggest it. Last week, he dropped them off my apartment saying emergency at work, then posted Instagram stories from a holiday with his friends. When I confronted him, he said I was being selfish. I love my nieces and nephews, but I feel taken advantage of. Am I wrong for wanting boundaries with family babysitting? No, you're not. You are not wrong for wanting to set boundaries and for being upset with your brother for pawning his kids off on you when he wants to go out and have fun and have the life of a single man without kids. So, but he's not going to listen to you. That's what you have to understand. All right? Your brother is, how shall I say this? He's a misogynist. That's the most polite thing I can say about your brother, is that he's a misogynist. The worst thing I would accuse your brother of being is a deadbeat. No, he's close to being a deadbeat father. Let's get that. That's what he is. Your brother is a misogynist and he is a deadbeat. And that is why he's pawning his kids off on you. The misogynist in your brother is telling the inwards, he's thinking, oh, well, you don't have kids, but you're a babe. You have maternal instincts. You don't have any kids your own. So you love watching my kids. You know, so that's the misogynist in him. But the deadbeat's like, well, I don't want to take care of these kids. I want to go out drinking with my friends at these holiday parties and play poker and drink a Fireball and chat up the waitresses and the bartenders and go golfing. So he just gives the kids to you. It's like, you be their parent and I'll come back when I come back. So, but that type of guy who is horrendous, despicable, a degenerate even. He's a misogynist and a deadbeat, which means your brother he's not reasonable, meaning you can't speak logically to your brother. If you try to speak logically to your brother, as you've said you already have, like, hey, I'm babysitting your kids 3 days a week. Oftentimes it's last minute. Can you at least pay me? Can you at least give me some gas money? And he laughs you off. Like, you're not going to be able to have a logical conversation with him. So like, you're kind of in a predicament where that old adage, actions speak louder than words. Therefore, you need to act. And this is what you do. You let one of your nieces and nephews die while you're babysitting them. Is that an extreme measure? Some may say it is. No, I'm not saying, or I'm not even suggesting that you kill one of these 3 kids that are under the age of 8, because that will catch you a first-degree murder, especially if a child. You'll probably do life in prison, which would hinder the freedom you have as a single person now, even more so. So I'm not saying that. I'm merely suggesting that when those kids are playing at the apartment pool, and they're struggling in the deep end, you look the other way. You let the kid drown. Just one of them. Or if there's a steep cliff, you're going hiking, let one of the kids look over the cliff, fall down, die. Let one of the kids go out into the highway and get hit by an 18-wheeler. Now, yeah, I mean, is it going to be sad? Are you going to miss one of the kids? You'll get over it in 2 weeks. There's 2 other that are still alive. I'm only suggesting let one of the kids die. And I say this because that's the only way you'll never have to worry about babysitting ever again. When you're in charge of supervising children and one of those children dies, you will no longer ever have to supervise children ever again. If you want a daycare and one of the kids dies, your daycare over. You don't get suspended. there's no like 48 hours. Let's clean it up and have the children that are still alive come back. Let the state investigate. No, a kid dies under your eyes. Like no parent's gonna give you the kids again. So, like, hopefully, if one of these kids dies, either your brother, deadbeat brother, or his wife, baby mama, whoever the mom is, will no longer let you supervise or babysit these kids. So is that an extreme measure? Yes, it is. But this is your life, and your brother is intruding on it. So you gotta act because he ain't listening to you. Now, if that is a measure you're not willing to go to, again, letting one of these children die while you're babysitting them, if you're not willing to sacrifice the life of one of these children, there are other measures you can take that are not as extreme, but are still extreme. I think some of them could be, what could they be? All right, they could be smoke cigarettes or you drink. Let the kids, smoke a dart or have some tequila with you. Let them drive your car. Go to a grocery store in a different state than you reside and leave the children there. Just lose a child. Not killing them, but just leave them at a grocery store or at a mall in a different state. Your brother will find the kids, but hey, do you have a boy toy? Do you have a guy you fuck? Fuck your boy toy in your bedroom with the door open while the kids are in the living room, or let your kids play with your dildos and vibrators in the open. Just do something. So that when your brother comes back, he's like, what? The WTF? What? You're having sex with your boyfriend in front of my kids? Or you left my kids at Stop and Shop in New Hampshire? And we live in Massachusetts? Like, what's wrong with you? That you have to make your brother fearful for his kids' lives when you're the one supervising them. Either that or just... let them eat a lot of candy and sugar so that they throw up on the way home. You just have to, you really do just have to sacrifice the safety or the location of one of these nieces and nephews of yours to get these kids off your back. And you do got to act extreme, again, because your brother's a misogynist. He's a deadbeat. We don't know where the mom is in this picture. She's probably not around. And it's not fair that you have to be like the surrogate mother, or not, maybe that's like you have to be like the second place mother for these kids, or like the aunt that's playing mom for these kids. It's not fair to you. Your brother, he got to have all the fun. He got to make a mess of some babe's vagina, and then he's gonna pawn what came out of that on you. No, fuck your brother, fuck them kids. Do something extreme that risks the livelihood, the well-being of these kids, so that your brother won't even dare leave you alone with these kids ever again. And you have to do that because he's not going to listen to anything you say. Let one of these kids die. Let's go look at some photos. Male police officers drinking coffee bothers me. It upsets me. Now, I can only speak for Connecticut, but I imagine this is happening all across the United States. I walk around. I'm out. I'm about to be man. I'm a man of the people. People's degenerate, some people call me. So, police, they're looking at me. And I don't blame them for doing so because I look suspicious. Some say I look like a pervert. I'm not going to dispute those claims, but I'm also looking at the police officers. And I notice that most of the police officers I see anyways are not drinking coffee. They'll come out of a coffee cafe, a Starbucks, or a local joint, and they won't have a 12-ounce black coffee that is what a police officer should be drinking, regardless of sex. You should be drinking, if you're a police officer, if you're law enforcement of any kind, black coffee, that's what you should be drinking. And if you want to have a little bit of cream, a little bit of Splenda, I'm fine with that. I won't give you a look if that's what you're drinking. But I see police officers routinely in the state of Connecticut. They'll come out of a Starbucks or whatever cafe, and they'll have a 24-ounce milkshake. They'll have the Frappuccino, whatever fancy drink it is that costs like $8, $9, and they'll come out with 4 of them because police officers are never alone, at least in Connecticut. They always got a crew with them. There's always 2 cop cars, minimum. And they're always SUVs, brand new. The police officers in Connecticut are driving better vehicles, more expensive vehicles than the residents they're hired to protect and serve. Am I a little, does that upset me as well? That's for another episode. But it's the drink that they're drinking that makes me, how can I respect a police officer who's drinking a 24-ounce cappuccino, frappuccino with the whipped cream and the chocolate, the chocolate spray on top, and they got the straw, and they're there just outdoor of a cafe with their legs crossed, and they got the belt with the mace and the taser and the handgun, and they got the walkie-talkie where they're, the supervisor or the chief is telling commands that they're not listening to, and they're just there enjoying the day or enjoying the evening. This sucking down 2,200 calories of pure sugar. How can you don't look like a man. You don't look like a police officer when you're sucking your 24, 36-ounce Frappuccino that you spent $11.99 on at Starbucks. Am I alone? When you see a police officer, he's got just think about the dichotomy of that. You have a handgun. You have a handgun in your holster or a rifle or whatever. I don't know anything about it. A pistol. And then in your hand, you're holding a milkshake with a straw. That's some type of coffee. Like, you're here to protect and serve. And you're acting like a basic, like a teenage girl. Teenage girls going to Starbucks, pretending to do homework, work on a project together, but they're just there to gossip and spend their parents' money on all these Frappuccino drinks. Like, that's who the police officers resemble, are the teenage girls. And I don't judge the teenage girls. That's what they should be doing. But when a police officer resembles a teenage girl or teenage boys, or, how can I take you seriously? Once there's a gun, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to point it out. But I'm judging you in my head, silently. I'm going, look at this bitch. Look at this little pussy with his $10 drink and his whipped cream on top. And what if shit goes down and you got to sprint a quarter mile or a mile and a half and jump over a fence to get a burglar? How are you going to do that with 2,500 calories of Starbucks grumbling in your belly? That's why police officers should only drink coffee black, because business might go down. And you can't be running, chasing after a criminal or even a pervert when you got whipped cream and frosting stains on your mouth, on your lips. It's very... Act the part. Act the part. If you're going to wear the uniform, don't besmirch it with a Frappuccino with whipped cream and sprinkles on it. Like, drink your coffee black, go to McDonald's, get the cheap, $1.99, just 8 ounces to get through, to the next stop, the next speed trap, whatever it is you're doing. Like that's a police officer of the people. That's a police officer that's there to actually serve and protect. It's a guy with the little coffee mug with no like label on it. It's a white thing with like the blue and yellow stripes and design, and it's just get into the next hour. But when you're getting like a 24-ounce frappuccino with syrup on it, like you're putting yourself into a coma. Like you're having a pleasant afternoon or a pleasant post-dinner drink. Like that's not working. And I'm judging you for that. So if you're a police officer listening to this, drink your coffee black. And if you are, I tip of my penis to you. But to all your police officers that are looking like little girls with pixie tails and twirling your hair as you sip your frappuccino, letting crime go down in your city, your district, be better. Because we need you out there to protect and to serve. Okay. All right, this one actually doesn't come from Reddit. It comes from this lady, this babe, this reporter. Her name is Claudia Bellofato. I believe she works maybe for the Boston sports, CBS, NBC. I'll put photos of her up here. And she's a looker. I will give her, she's a legit babe, obviously. I would pay a month's salary to be able to sniff her dirty laundry. And I'd do that with a straight face. And she wouldn't even have to put it in a Ziploc bag. Just you send it to me. I'll pay for the shipping and handling. That's how hot this babe is. But I'm not here to talk about Claudia specifically. It's her type. Similar to the police officers, I want to talk about the female sports reporter, analyst, whatever title you want to give them. The B-Man believes that a female sports reporter, analyst is trying to get her uterus punctured by an athlete. And I think she is until proven otherwise. You are guilty until proven innocent as a female sports reporter. Maybe that's not fair, but life ain't fair, honey. I look at her. And it's not just her. I'm not pointing out Claudia. She just came up on my feed. And I was like, well, who's this bitch? Who's this bitch, Claudia? So I go to her IG. I start looking at photos. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I don't know, but I know. The B-Man knows, like, she's fucked athletes before. And I'm not judging her for that. Like, that is the role of a female sports reporter, especially if you're young. Like, that is the goal. What bothers me, the B-Man, is that nobody in the sports media landscape seems to be willing to point this out. And it seems obvious to me. Like, it's so obvious. It's like tits slapping me in the face. The jigglers are jiggling, slapping me in the face. And is nobody calling this out? Is the B-Man? You want to call me a misogynist for it? Go ahead. But it doesn't mean what I'm saying is not true. Like, this is true. That Claudia, and I'm just using her as the face of all the female reporters that are attractive, whether they're covering all the major sports, baseball, hockey, football, professional, collegiate. They're trying to get the sports dick. Like, that's the object. When you're an attractive babe and you get hired by a network or a newspaper or if that's even still a thing, or a website or Barstool or NBC or ESPN, Fox Sports, all these sports, they hire these hot babes to cover the sport. Let's just say baseball, for example, because that's one of my favorite sports. So, like, that's the goal. You're coming out of college as a babe. You're getting all dolled up Like, that's what they're doing, right? Like, how you getting any female reporter that's getting information, like insider information, I assume you're getting that information by sleeping, getting dicked down by one of the athletes that's on the team or is associated with the team. And I know that's happening because look at her. And look at all the female reporters. And what also bothers me is that they're like allowed in the locker room. That seems like if I was the wife, like if I had a wife, let's just say like, I'm a professional athlete, I'm a professional baseball player, MLB. I play center field for the New York Yankees, and now we know that's never going to happen. That would never happen. I mean, I did start JV basketball my junior year of high school, so you got that. So that's pretty close. JV basketball, center fielder for the New York Yankees. Like that, the gap is not as far as it may seem. But let's just say I'm playing center field for the New York Yankees. I have a wife. I have a family. I'm in the clubhouse. I'm in the locker room. I'm getting changed. I'm naked. And then there's this hot babe reporter who's 25. She's 30 years old. She's got her hair all done up. She's wearing a skirt. She's got her cleavage. She's wearing the perfume. She's got all her makeup done. Like she's about to go to a nightclub. And she puts a microphone in front of my face. And then I'm shirtless. And she's giggling at my responses. Like, that makes me feel uncomfortable as an athlete, knowing, hey, I got a wife at home. Like, I'm naked. Like, I'm practically naked here. And I'm sure my wife would not be thrilled that there's this, this bitch. I'm not even going to say she's a ditchy reporter. She might even have a college degree and have all the credentials, but still, there's a female in a male's locker room. It surprises me that more of the male athletes don't they just come out and go, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you being here with me and my teammates kind of naked. And probably it's because some of the athletes are probably fucking the female reporter and don't want to upset the card, with that. So there's just this ecosystem of female babe reporters getting dicked down, their uterus punctured by these professional athletes or collegiate athletes or ex-athletes. And we all know what's happening. We all know what's happening. But nobody wants to acknowledge it. That's what bothers me. It doesn't bother me that these babe reporters are doing what they do. It doesn't bother me that they're getting the sports dick. Like, good for you. Get that dick, honey. Get that dick. What? Good for you. Because that is the objective if you're a young female sports reporter. Like, you get in, you get that sports dick for up to a decade, maybe a little shorter than that. Hopefully, your reputation in the industry, sports industry, does not get besmirched. Yeah, hopefully you get to a national network or national venue or a major market like New York or LA. You're getting paid a lot, and then the end goal is to get married to an athlete or an ex-athlete. And if you're not able to lock down one of those, you get married to like an executive or a powerful lawyer in your community. You use your status to get to that. To meet people, to meet high, powerful men in whatever city you work. So that's the objective. That is the goal. And good for you if you were able to make that a reality. Hey, I tip of my penis to you for living the life you want to live. But what bothers me is that none of the other guy reporters point this out. Like I look at Claudia and I see like some of the guys who follow her, like I follow as well, like the guys, but none of the guys are calling her out or any of the female reporters out, for fucking for information. I guess we could call that. They fucking athletes to get information or to move up the ladder. And I just think that the sports environment will be more fun or entertaining as a consumer if we knew what was going on, if some of the guy reporters had the balls, to spill information. Let us mere mortals know what's going on. Like, which of these reporters are dicking down, are fucking for information, and which ones are not. And that's why in my eyes, the B-man's eyes, you're guilty until proven innocent, because nobody in the sports media landscape will come out and let us know. If there were guy reporters or athletes after they retired say, yeah, I slept with this reporter, that reporter slept with my teammate, she's fucked everybody. If they would let us know, I go, okay, that one fucked for information, that one was not. And then I would not have to assume everybody's guilty, because, it's almost like the steroids. Like, with baseball, like, those two, when the list came out, if you're old enough to remember that. So that's what bothers me. It doesn't bother me that it's happening. I encourage it. Fuck your way to the top. Good for you. I tip of my penis to you for that. I encourage all babes, if they want to fuck their way to the top of whatever industry they're in, especially if it's sports. What bothers me, and let me reiterate this, because I probably said it 4 or 5 times already, is that nobody is willing to acknowledge it publicly, that is. Like I said, if there's titties jiggling in front of my face, slapping my cheeks, I'm going to say something. I just want somebody else in the media to have the balls to say something that the B-man knows that we all know, but nobody's willing to touch the topic. What also kind of intrigues me about the female babe reporter is her male counterpart. Now, I'm not talking about like the national, like NBC or ESPN or Fox Sports, because a lot of the male reporters at that level, at the national level are ex-athletes or like ex-coaches. So they have a lot of money. They're also good looking as well. They have pretty good lives. What interests me is the hot female babe reporter, sports reporter, who's working at a network, like a local network, with a middle-aged guy like myself, who like probably it's just like polar opposites that like I know the middle-aged sports reporter guy that is like has to be furious with their state compared to their female counterpart. And maybe that's a good thing. In most industries, the guys are on top, or a lot of industries anyway. So maybe, hey man, women are getting theirs. Good for them. But like, the middle-aged reporter, because that's an embarrassing job to have. When you're middle-aged and you're reporting on guys, athletes that are half your age, who their lives are in all aspects are discernibly better than the middle-aged reporter. Like, it's kind of embarrassing as a 45-year-old or a 50-year-old or 60-year-old to be reporting on 25-year-old athletes that are millionaires when you're making $100,000 a year. But what interests me is the dichotomy between the middle-aged guy who's just a regular John. And maybe he has some clout because he's on a local TV news station, but he goes home, he's probably married. He has a boring, simple life. Maybe he likes it. But then he has, like, sitting across from the table from him, it's this hot babe who's trying to work her way up. Like, she's getting to fuck all the athletes. For her, that's fun. Every weekend, like, I look at I looked at her IG page, and I'll put her IG here. Like, she's going to the Hamptons, she's going to nightclubs, she's going to parties. Like, she's clearly getting invited to all these fancy parties with the athletes and celebrities and high-powered influencers in America and all across the world. Like, she's probably, on her off days, she's taking the first class. There are athletes flying her out. There are celebrities flying her out to these locations. So like So, like, both reporters, the babe and the middle-aged guy, are probably making the same amount of money, or hell, maybe even the middle-aged guy, reporter, maybe he's making more money than his female counterpart because maybe he's been at the network longer, but she, by any definition, has a better life than him. Like, she's getting recognized by these athletes. Guys are sliding her DMs. She gets invited to all the parties in the city. Like her nightlife, her life. You know, she's got an IG life. She's got life by the balls. She can go anywhere for free. She gets invited. It's like I'm just stumbling over my words. That's how good her life is because I can't even put it in words because I don't even know what that life is like. But the guy, the middle-aged reporter, like they're reporting together, but in the back of his mind, he's got to be saying like, "Fuck this bitch. This bitch is half my age, and she's getting more attention than I'm getting. But I'm the one actually. I'm grinding here. I've been grinding for 30 years to get to this position, and this fucking 27-year-old floozy." She's get to go out. She's taking a private jet to Las Vegas this weekend. Fuck her. Fuck her. Now, she can't say it because it's a work environment, but I could say it for him. Right? Like in his mind, he's like, fuck this bitch. That's what he's thinking. And that's what amuses me. It's the anger of the middle-aged sports reporter, looking at his very attractive, stunning babe co-worker beside him. Why am I the only one calling this out? What? Female reporters are fucking the athletes for information and for fun. Go suck a fat one.